That's perfect. Well, let me give you some really quick advice, really quickly. When somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, want to have some fun? Don't just say yes. Get some details first. Because recently, for fun, my girlfriend had me go to a high school cheerleading competition, and it was 4 hours long. And if you stay for the entire 4 hours, you have to register as a sex offender. Yeah. I'm also here to tell you guys something I noticed recently, because I'm a very observant person and I love to share this information that I find out with people, because you might not have ever noticed this. But what I found out recently was that strippers are people too. They are. And I didn't think that at first. And let me tell you, when I say that, don't get the wrong impression. I'm not trying to tell you guys that I love strip clubs or I like going to them. I don't. I don't even like strip clubs. And here's why. Naked women make me horny. And I just don't feel like it's appropriate to be horny in public. There's just something seriously wrong with being horny. That's not acceptable any other place. Like if you were at the dentist and the dentist leaned over your shoulder and was like, I'm horny. Now open wide. No. Unacceptable. As a matter of fact, you will never catch me horny in public. Ever. I consider me not being horny in public doing the world a favor, and that's how I give back to my community. I'm a very good citizen that way. Here's the other reason I don't like strip clubs, people. Because I've been to a strip club like once or twice a weekend for 3 years. But listen, it's not the point how often. Those places are horrible. And a lot of people like to make fun of the strippers and claim that the strippers are damaged goods. But the customers are so much more damaged than the strippers. And when I was at the strip club, I was no exception to that rule. I was at a strip club one time, and I'm sitting next to this guy, right? He pulls out $1 to give it to the stripper. When she walks over and reaches out for it, he snatches it back. Now she walks away. She won't come back over for another $1, which kind of sucked for me because I didn't have a lot of money. As a matter of fact, I thought me and this guy were going to be working together tit for tit. So then he pulls out a 20, okay? That almost made up for his indiscretion. He pulls out a 20. When the stripper gets close enough to reach for it, he takes the $20 bill, crumbles it up, puts it in his mouth, then takes it out and hands it to her. Now she walked away. All right? Me being the good citizen that I am, I had to step in and say something. I was like, look, man, other than being the reason that money is dirty, your ridiculous sexism is stopping this young lady from doing her job in my face. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't realize that my crude behavior was probably disrupting people from enjoying the very reason they came here from the first place. And on top of that, the fact that I find what she does degrading doesn't mean I have to degrade her anymore. No, of course that's not what he said. You want to know what he really said? It's a free country, duh! That didn't even make any sense. We had to pay a cover charge to get in. I didn't even know what to say to this idiot anymore. It's a good thing the stripper finally got fed up with his behavior, and she went into the corner, and she started writing in this little notebook. Now, don't ask me where she pulled the notebook from, but I gave her an extra $5 for that. And, worth every penny. And she started writing in this notebook, and when she was done, she came and she showed it to him. And in big bold letters across both pages of the notebook, it said, I am a human being, asshole. And I was so proud of her, because she could read. Now, here I am being presumptuous. Of course, a stripper can spell asshole. She just have to put on her resume. No, I'm on the stripper's side. This is a heartwarming tale of redemption. I was so glad I didn't have to say anything to this idiot anymore. I just showed my support for the stripper by standing up and doing the slow clap. Yeah, he got embarrassed, started crying, and left the strip club. No, of course he didn't do that. He stood up and started clapping with me. He didn't even know what I was doing. So not the kind of people I want to be horny in public with. Do you see what I'm saying? But I stay positive, despite people like this existing in the world. And I learned something recently. Perspective is everything in life, right? I recently did a show one time, and a guy came up to me after the show, and here's something I learned. When people find you funny, they feel close to you. They don't mind telling you personal things about themselves. This guy told me something personal about himself. He said, "Sidney, a prostitute gave me syphilis and it ruined my life." I said, "Look, man, don't think about it that way. You bought that syphilis." Yeah, get a tax break for that. I don't know how that works. I'll tell you guys this really quick and get out of here. I recently moved to a new apartment complex. And when I first moved to the apartment complex, one of my new neighbors got beat up in the parking lot. Now, he couldn't see what the guy looked like, but he could tell the guy was black, so he told the police it was me. The police investigated. They found out that it wasn't me, and my neighbor didn't even apologize. So I beat his ass in the parking lot. We talk now. We're on speaking terms. Very good that way.